Ladies and gentlemen, it's championship race, the final week of Podium or Wall Season 5. All shake, no break! Can Cuban Missile come away with the victory? But before we get too deep into it, let's take it away! Booyah! What a season we've had. And we come to our final week here in Okayama. We'll try to get the stage set for you guys real quick here. So I believe, I could be wrong, the championship standings can get a little hectic with the drops. As long as Cuban Missile beats the Moldiver here today, he should have the championship dusted. Should be his.
That's fine. How do you say? 20 points separate those two. And as long as the Cuban Missile stays out of last place and beats up on the Moldiver, he should have this locked in. But some really close racing we'll see, I sure hope. Again, first, the Cuban Missile's got a solid lead. The Moldiver about 20 points behind him. And Gold Striker, I think, 22 points behind that. The real tight-knit bit of this group is Avant-Garde. And, sorry about that, Avant-Garde. Where did his name go?
Rockley.
Thank you. You can't see him on the thing. And Captain Crash, all within about 10 points, fighting it out for 4th place. But it should be a good race this evening.
The first race at Okayama is about to get underway. Championship potential on the line here as we watch Cuban Missile get a good start on the outside as he normally does. Will he complete that pass on Gold Striker, who fails to cover the inside yet again? Cuban Missile up, what is that, 4 or 5 spots already? An insane start for him.
Just like that. Yeah, the Honda is always struggling off the rip as Gold Striker.
He's sticking with him,
well
though.
Behind.
Looks like it was a worse start for Mr. Schwung there. And Avant-Garde with the Moldiver getting stuck between those guys. So, great start for Captain Crash, Cuban Missile. We see Jeff Plata holding them off for the lead here. Cuban Missile already up into 3rd place here. He's got 1, 2, 3 spots in between him and the Moldiver. If he can maintain that, he'll be sitting pretty. Take a look at the race car there. Happy to have him back for this race. Missing the last 2. Oh, and commentator Curse sends him wide. Mr. Schwung barely avoiding that crash, but it will cost him a little bit of time. But we see a pretty good snake here at the front. Jeff Plata still holding on. I think we heard some metal clanging there.
Yeah, little rubbing and racing. But, yeah, these top 3 cars, shoot, top 5. Look at this snake. Moldiver's on the back half of this.
Yep, Moldiver moving up. The only thing that separates him from the Cuban Missile now is Gold Striker. So he'll be looking to get past him.
Bit of that disappearing line there from Jeff Plata. Interesting stuff. We'll see if he pulls that move again.
He's desperate for a race win here. He'll be pulling out all the stops.
Here we see Gold Striker on the outside. I don't think he's going to have it. But putting the pressure on the Cuban Missile, that's for sure.
Yep, that'll be a pack to watch there. Those 3, Cuban Missile, Gold Striker, and Moldiver.
Top 3 racers really duking it out. Oh, Captain Crash getting a little creative with the line there.
But that leads him to having the inside. on that turn 4, probably one of the best areas on the track to try to make a pass happen, and he does. That invites Cuban Missile up into the second spot. He'll have the inside of the next turn. We'll see how Jeff Plata handles that one. Captain Crash up into first. Cuban Missile, there you go.
Got him on the inside. Wonderful move. And I think Gold Striker might have followed him, but maybe not.
It's quite possible.
Oh,
Looks like Jeff Plata will hold off for now.
Going a bit wide.
Falling back, or Avant-Garde Mr. Schwung. Yep, they're falling behind. But he could catch back up there.
I think Avant-Garde will join this pack in another lap or two. Whoa,
Gold Striker taking it wide on that turn because he wants the inside of this turn. That's an interesting part of the track there. Super tight on those two turns, and you have to string them together. So you have to be thinking about the second turn when you take the first one. That's why he took it that wide there, to get on the inside of the next one. We'll see if that plays a big part in any passing here. You know, oh, we see some flashing from Cuban Missile. He wants that top spot. Ooh, Captain Crash, let him have it. He's going on the outside. Cuban Missile looks for a move up the inside, but he's not going to make it. Not going to force the issue there. As far as he's concerned, he just needs to drive safe. I'd reckon he's probably hoping for Captain Crash to make a mistake more than anything else here.
Yeah, he's prone to do that when he's in first place. So we'll see what he's up to. A lot of time left in this race. But quite the gap has emerged between these two up front. Good Missile and Gold Striker. It looks like almost a second and a half between the two.
And look at that. Avant-Garde is in the mix now completely. He's right on Jeff Plata's butt. Cuban Missile putting down the fastest lap of the race so far. That bodes well for him. Gold Striker still holding off Moldiver. In fact, there looks to be a bit of a gap increasing between 1 and 2. Back to Gold Striker. Moldiver certainly is going to be trying to catch up to the top dogs. He knows he needs to make it happen sooner rather than later. He not only needs to pass Gold Striker here, he needs to find himself in front of the Cuban Missile. But lots of work to do on his end.
You see them going a bit wide there. Come around the penultimate turn.
Oh, and there you go. Moldiver and Gold Striker. Gold Striker giving him a little bump there around the end. Moldiver's passed for the time being, but they lost a considerable amount of time in that battle. You see that gap there. Oh, we're going too wide, too back. Moldiver holding off Gold Striker. Jeff Plata. Oh, dipping a toe into the grass.
Wild dog factor.
Almost another victim of commentator curse. Looks like he may lose the spot to Avant-Garde, but he'll stay in the hunt. Moldiver now past Gold Striker. Looking to put in some hot laps and catch up to those front two, who look like they might just be working together to separate from the pack.
I was going to say, Moldiver needs to put some real heaters together because he's got some time to make up. There's almost 2.5 seconds between him and the Cuban Missile. And Captain Crash and the Cuban Missile, I'm not saying they're working together, but they're not fighting each other much. They're really just...
You know...
I mean, look at this.
It's one of the only races, the only scenarios where you'd be content in this situation as the Cuban Missile. The gap has steadily increased between him and Moldiver, so he doesn't feel the need to force his way around Captain Crash just yet. I bet if he sees that gap fall down a little more, closer to a second or so, he might force the issue. But for now, he's content to keep them going, and it seems like Captain Crash may have gotten the memo there, although Cuban Missile keeps poking his head up the inside, so it's not exactly a certain thing here.
You know, it's a bit threatening, but Captain Crash has the fastest lap that last time around. Let's see if he holds on to it this time. But he's no slouch this race. And,
that's right. He's found some speed here.
Again, threatening a bit on the inside, but he has not quite found the space or the time to make it stick, or even to threaten much more than a feint.
If anything, his main goal here is just to keep his lovely shot there.
Great camera.
Beautiful.
God, can we go back to that one?
I know. That was amazing. I didn't know we were capable of that, frankly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Last race of the year here, pulling out all the stops. Gold Striker trying to find himself back on that podium spot. I'm hearing he wasn't too happy about Moldiver passing him back there a couple laps ago. Potential off-track situation, but there's no stewards around to take a look at it, so it is what it is. Moldiver, he's gained about a second since we were last talking about the gap to Cuban Missile. Maybe it's about time Cuban Missile starts putting some more pressure on Captain Crash. And I'd have to imagine if he was in the open space, he would be able to increase the gap even more, considering how Moldiver is not really able to gain all that much time per lap, it doesn't seem. But will Captain Crash let him? Probably not. Captain Crash is looking for another race win here this season.
I'll say he's here. He's duking it out with Pavant Guard and Rock Lee, and first place here is a big win, especially with Pavant Guard in 5th and Rock Lee not on the track. My God, did he not make it? What happened?
Rock Lee was never here tonight. He's not going to make it for Okayama, Japan. His visa got denied, actually, I hear. So, you know, that's part of the trouble with the league. We travel all parts of the globe. You got to make sure you got your papers in order, and he just fell a little behind the 8 ball there. Japanese authorities does not allow him into the country.
That's too bad. That's way yeah. Well,
very unfortunate.
He's missed out on a real race night here, and again, not a whole lot of passing going on up front. It looks like Moldiver and Gold Striker have got a solid distance between those two. Vanguard stuck in 5th. Jeff Plata 5 seconds behind them. Mr. Schwung in 7th with Race Car just a second behind him.
And I appreciate Cuban Missile still seems to be poking his head in on certain turns, because you'd love to see a battle like this for the top 2 spots normally. However, if you get the inkling that they may be working together and he's just trying to stay behind, it's not exactly the most exciting thing in the world. But, you know, we've got a race here. Despite all of that, I think on-track pride still has, you know, something to play in all of this.
Oh, for sure. And again, the Moldiver just set the fastest lap this last time around, so like you mentioned previously, the gap is diminishing. And Cuban Missile might have to make a choice here.
The Moldiver looking to play spoiler to Cuban Missile's championship hopes. Cuban Missile dominating early in the season, maintaining a few race wins on the second half. He has been dominant this season, and he's looking for his first ever championship. Moldiver looking to play spoiler and get a three-peat.
And I really thought the Cuban Missile had more exit speed there, but he's filed in line. He's not pushing the envelope.
I should correct myself also. It wouldn't be a three-peat for Moldiver. There was a Gold Striker won one of them in there, but he would be a 3-time champion. So thank you to the stats guy for correcting me.
Can't afford stewards, but we can afford statisticians.
It's kind of crazy, you know. We don't exactly camera guy. Can we? Thank you. I just, you know, there's something about the trees in Japan that are just amazing, aren't they?
They're so beautiful, so beautiful.
Captain Crash holding off on Cuban Missile. We've seen this before all race, it seems. The 1-2 Moldiver, the gap. It's going down by about 0.1 or 2 each lap, so he's catching up. But does he have enough time at this pace? It seems like he's going to need to find an extra gear if he wants to pass.
No, and it seems to me like if you pay attention, it's the second half of the track where Cuban Missile's got the pace on Captain Crash, but he's got no room to make use of it.
That second half of the track there is so technical, you know. You think about you're just maintaining your line, your speed, adding passing into that mix has got to be quite the difficult task. You're really looking more so. This penultimate turn is a great time to set up a pass, and then you know, turn 1 as well as turn 4 all the way up there, that big hairpin. Some of the other good times to pass early on in the lap, though. So as you settle in. I find it harder and harder as the lap goes on to get you that opportunity.
Now, and you'll see, I think this is the part where Captain Crash pulls a bit of a lead on Cuban Missile. Each time, the first half of the track, he gets some room on him.
Looks like he's handling turn 2 there a bit better. Yeah. Quite a bit of speed out of there.
2-3 cars. Yeah, and then this is where it all turns around. This sharp right-hander, this is where Cuban Missile starts reeling him in. And by the second half of this whole course, he's just white on rice.
Okayama in the mountains of Japan. The air's a bit lighter here, so the effects of the drag are a little reduced, the draft effect, but you still do want to be right in that air hole of the car in front to gain time on the straight. And if you look at that, Moldiver is right on Cuban Missile's bumper. He's back in this. He's fought his way back up into the top 3. He's there. He wants more. He needs to pass. And he's got about a minute to do it. Let's see what happens. I believe they'll go this time in one more, if I'm not wrong. Cuban Missile forced to be a little more defensive here now. Music to Captain Crash's ears.
Say, taking a little bit of pressure off that rear view mirror.
Well, you know, you'd think so, but he's right there. Cuban Missile's still right there. You come down this main straight here. Didn't quite see a flag guy. I did! I saw the flag guy. It's white flag. 1 lap to go. I saw it right in the corner. Flag guy.
Eagle eyes over here.
Oh my God, I was looking for it. Last lap situation here. Captain Crash looking for his 2nd win of the season. Cuban Missile looking for a championship. Moldiver looking to play spoiler. What an epic top 3 here. Lots on the line. Pride, glory. Who will take it home? Will we take it into race 16, or will it end here? Of course, we still will have race 16, but will there be implications? Cuban Missile, Moldiver, we're watching them. Moldiver feigning up the inside, but knows he doesn't quite have it just yet. My goodness, you hear those cars up and over those curbs, taking a beating. He's got to make it happen now if Moldiver wants anything to happen. He's too far behind. He's got to catch up in the technical sections here. The Moldiver running out of time. Cuban Missile holding him off. Let's see if the gap closes here. Captain Crash, will he slow them all down? Look at that. Ooh. Cuban Missile right on his bumper. Captain Crash leads it around the penultimate turn. He's going to come around turn 10 hot. He's got a bit of a gap there. Looks like Cuban Missile won't quite have enough space to catch the draft into first, but he will have enough space to hold off Moldiver, looks like. Captain Crash, your race winner. Cuban Missile, your championship winner. What an exhilarating time we had here. Moldiver, the villain, trying to play spoiler, but good prevails this time. To see Avant-Garde eventually passing Gold Striker there and coming in P4. Gold Striker in 5th, Jeff Plata 6th. There he comes. That'll put Mr. Schwung crossing the line in 7th. Race car not too far behind them in 8th. Your championship winner, Cuban Missile. That's assuming the AI calculations are correct. You know, with all the race drops and all that stuff going on, the AI calculated that he would win the championship in this scenario, so he's free to go party. Would you, though? If you were in this situation, would you trust the AI? As everyone congratulates Cuban Missile here.
Right, lots of headlight flashing. Nice little convoy they got going here. Mostly
you like to
Audis,
see it.
With the one rogue Honda.
he played fair. It was a fair fight. So we think you know that lone Honda might be looking at the Audis next season though and thinking about, I don't know, maybe they have a little more juice in them.
Could be a reason why 2/3 of the field is rolling in the
Yeah,
German.
I mean, look at that top 4.
Yeah.
Captain Crash, though, your race winner. Let's not forget about him. His 2nd in the season. An emerging potential top dog.
You know, and he needed it tonight. He's got to stay in front of Avant-Garde if he's going to make up those points. He's in last, if you would, between the guys duking it out for 4th place, but I think this gives him a healthy chance.
That'll pretty good.
It's securing 4th
you know, and
overall for the
with
season.
Gold Striker finishing 5th, maybe a podium position could be in his future. The AI hasn't looked at that one, so those two will be racing in the next race for potentially 3rd place. I think you need to see a Gold Striker maybe way down at the end of the pack and Captain Crash with another win potentially. But hey, anything can happen in podium or wall. I mean, we just saw Cuban Missile win a championship. How unlikely is that?
What a great race tonight. Feel excited to come back for the GT3s and see
Please
what happens.
join us for the GT3s. We're still going to run it. We're going to celebrate and have a good time. Come on. We'll see you then.